Hello, everybody. Hey there. We are trying something new. Hi, Grant.
Oh shit. We said
Hello.
one of us was going to switch shirts, but we didn't say which one. Now look at
Yeah,
us.
we didn't
Like a
coordinate
band.
this. We did not coordinate this, I swear.
Oh.
Grant, how are you today? Let's do some small talk while we wait for people to jump over.
Well, I just ate a protein bar and I'm watching film breakdowns of the Eagles all 22, so I mean, fantastic.
That sounds really nice.
I
I was watching an old man on YouTube make something called pickle Pepsi, where I guess you put like pickles in Pepsi and you drink it.
How old was this man?
I can show you. Hold on. Thanks to the magic of screen sharing here on Riverside, I can show you exactly what I was watching. And I thought to myself, I bet people on the internet want to see this too. So,
While you're pulling that up, I did
mhm.
so I got a smoker and I used to do whole chicken and you stick a can of beer in the butt of the chicken and it makes it taste good. But I was out of beer and I did pickle juice and it fucking rocked.
So this is what I was watching right before we started streaming today. So this is a man that appears to be in the woods somewhere, and he. I like that it's set up that it's for free. Like he's concerned that you might be paying for your pickle Pepsi. And so yeah, this is what I was spending my afternoon doing. This is how I unwind after publishing Garbage Day. Let's see. Let's look for the money shot here. Is he gonna try it? Nope. He doesn't even. Oh yeah, there he is. So it's pickles in Pepsi. It looks like. Yeah.
I mean, that would be fine.
I think it would probably be good. I think it would actually be better than you think it would. You know. According to Mr. Pussy in the chat on YouTube, they also saw that. Um, and then Noah Schwartz is saying that the video has been stuck in their algorithm as well. So this has been going around apparently, which is great. I want to thank everyone for watching. This is a little experiment that we're trying. Basically, Grant and I started talking about this because there's so much to talk about with regards to Charlie Kirk and the political climate of America that I can't fit it into a newsletter anymore. So, in fact, I have broken out in hives from blogging too much. I went to urgent care. Don't worry, I'm getting treatment, but I've been a little stressed. So,
Yeah, no. So let's slow this down. Let's talk about your possible end of the world like boils that have taken
huh,
over your body.
yeah.
Uh when did this happen? What specifically do you attribute it to? Do you think
Uh,
that this is just your geriatric millennialness coming in? Because like you used to be able to handle breaking news, Ryan.
I used to be able to handle it, but I'm old now. I broke out in hives Saturday morning, so I think I relaxed finally after basically nonstop writing and reporting and doing media hits for 2 weeks, and my body was like, "Time to break down because you're 35 years old and I can't be chained to my desk anymore." Apparently, so yeah, a
Are
little
are
itchy.
you're sure that they're stress related and not like I've like known a lot of people have like gotten bad eczema recently. Like
Could be.
the
All I'll say is Zyrtec's working
climate
great,
change is.
and the doctor laughed at me. So there you
Wait,
go.
what did you say to the doctor?
He was just like, I think I could write my name in that because it's a very specific kind of thing. So if you see me sort of doing this, you can tell me in the chat to stop. It's not good for me to. But enough about my horrible body. Um, let's
Okay.
let's let's start with I think the most recent development in the Charlie Kirk media cycle, which is the rapture that's happening this week. Grant, did you see any of
I
this over the weekend?
I can't believe that you don't think that your hives and the rapture are unrelated. I
It's
I feel more
possible.
convinced that the apocalypse is coming because if you can't blog, it is the end of the world.
It's very possible. Yeah.
Uh no, I saw this in Garbage Day, and then I thought we should get my reaction live and pure here.
Do you want to
So
watch some of these?
yes, I really do.
Okay. Okay. Let's pull on. Let's. I'm just gonna do what I do every morning, which is search the word rapture in TikTok, because that's where I get my religious news from. And I'm gonna share my screen here. So as you
How
can kind
many?
of see,
Yeah.
here we go.
This is
What were
what
you
I
gonna say?
expected everyone to look like.
Yeah, I like this guy. This guy's hair is my favorite, I think. So what? Yeah, talk us. I want to put you on the hot seat because you always put me on the hot seat. So what are your initial feelings looking at these videos?
Well, you are already more brave than I would because I would not gender any of the people in these videos. I
You're
would
right. That's
not.
fair.
I would not be so brave. Um, there's like a my favorite drink is Mountain Dew vibe to all of these. you
Yeah.
know, like there's, uh, yeah, these are people whose like first news source was TikTok.
Uh huh. I think
That's the
so.
feeling.
Here, this one's really good. I watched this one earlier.
Don't forget to unlock your phone. If you are a pre-tribber like myself and you truly believe that Jesus is going to come and rapture his church here possibly within the next week, if not any day now, don't forget to unlock your phone, because I know a lot of people are writing letters or maybe even just doing things on their phone, like in the notes and whatever.
Yeah.
Unlock your phone. Like, I couldn't do that because I have bills to pay. I still need that information. So I just
Hold on.
wrote
Hold on.
my
I want to stop right there. I want to stop right there. So first, let me just explain that like this all started with a South African preacher who said the rapture was coming on a podcast a couple months ago, but Americans have run with it using Charlie Kirk's death as sort of the pretext for the rapture arriving tomorrow. And the reason I want to stop this video right here is because this woman says that she is still paying bills, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. As we know from Y2K, that is not commitment. If you
No.
don't end your dental practice and buy gold, you're fucking up.
That's right.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
How many of these people do you think knew who Charlie Kirk was before? I don't think that the two are connected. I don't think that they. I think we are seeing a wave of like posthumous Charlie Kirk admiration for people who could not have pointed him out of a lineup of Dunkin' Donuts looking people while he was alive.
So, okay, here's what I'll say. After watching a few dozen of these this morning, most of these people, I think, are just genuinely reacting to what they're seeing in the news, and they're very nervous about it. They're seeing things about like World War III, and they're seeing things about the Middle East and Charlie Kirk, and they're not really sort of thinking about it very deeply. They also have a compulsive need to film videos in their car. And so I think if you put all that together, you get everyone deciding that the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. In a lot of ways, I don't know. I think I always take this stance with this kind of stuff, but I sort of get it. Like, I sort of get how like you could get to this point in your life. I think maybe that says something about me and my relationship to content.
What would it take to get you there?
I think I've talked about this before, but like in college, I absolutely got sucked down a rabbit hole with the History Channel and Ancient Aliens, and was like isolated enough one spring break to think like maybe this is all legit. And then you go outside and you talk to other people and you realize like that's a ridiculous thing to think. But I don't get the sense that these people are doing a lot of that, or if they are, they're talking to other people who are also very online in this very specific way.
Yeah, that lady only goes to church and to the gym. That is very clear.
Well, hold on. Let's watch a little more. Let's.
my phone, keep my code on a piece of paper with a little message, and I took a picture of it and I made that the screensaver on my phone. I just want to encourage anyone who does believe.
If you're going to say I can't unlock my phone
Right.
because I have bill information on there,
Yeah.
but then you just make your lock screen the password to your phone.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure I follow completely.
So in a lot of these people's minds, like it's like a leftover style situation where tomorrow, like they're all going to be blinked out of existence, but like their clothes and their belongings will be left behind.
Yeah, but in the meantime, if she puts her phone down to like
Right.
get her iced tea.
Right. This was 6 days ago. So she's been walking around with all of her passwords as her lock screen for like a week. All right, a little more.
In the rapture, and you believe that it's going to happen soon, to just be more bold about your faith. wear your stuff like this, wear your Jesus shirts and all that, pass out the little mini Jesus. Like I do that too. And I just bought more of them today. And I also actually bought a few Bibles today that are going to be coming tomorrow.
This woman sounds like she's trying to cram last minute for the rapture. That's what this sounds like to me. Like, it sounds to me like she's trying to like buy as much stuff as possible to convince Jesus to take her to heaven and tomorrow. Which doesn't seem like, I wouldn't admit that on the internet. I wouldn't say that to people.
So your line was funny, and I did laugh. But I look at this stuff, and if I don't click on it, I think it's funny. But then if I hang around for too long, like we just did, I start to actually just feel very like somebody believing that buying Jesus merch is the answer to like get into the concert of the rapture. That's just not a window into somebody's mind I wish to know exists.
Well, so let's make it fun again and look at all the videos about how to take care of your pet after the rapture, because I think that's the better thing to think about right now than to dwell on how sad this is.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That is something to consider.
I haven't seen this one, but this looks amazing. Let's see.
I am the founder and CEO of Post-Rapture Pet Care.
Is this a joke?
With everything going on in the world right now, the rapture is right.
This might be this is a joke. I think that's not funny.
Okay, so I'm going to be very human right now with my emotions. I'm worried about my dogs.
We're back in the pocket now.
When we're raptured. And a lot of people will be like, oh, the dogs are going. But we don't really have any evidence, no scripture to back up that our pets will go with us in the rapture. People have many pets.
What?
Nothing. Keep going.
No, I think she's making a good point. There is no evidence.
Yeah, no, I do. I know. I'm like
this one.
I'm like, this is a woman who is actually she's not cramming last minute. This is a woman who is.
This woman has thought about this.
Yeah.
They have birds. There's snakes. There's lizards. I mean, people have all kinds of pets. So dogs aren't the only pets. So this has really been heavy because I was praying this morning and I'm like, Lord, if my dogs don't go, please send someone to care for my dogs, because I have cats and 28.
Oh, hold on. I want to pick this apart a second, because in her mind, like, all the godly people get raptured. Is it responsible to have a sinner taking care of your dog after the rapture?
That is a great question.
Isn't it? And maybe your dog wasn't raptured because it's sinful. Like, we don't know really enough about dog morality to, there.
I wonder if there's did you have impure thoughts twice in your life? You can take care of my dog. Did you, like they're grading on a curve. They're like, obviously, like, you can't get into like heaven, but like, we think you're going to be in like a less bad area of hell.
Yeah.
You're going to be in hive hell, not like a full boil hell.
Yeah. Like purgatory. Like if you're eventually going to go to purgatory, you can take care of my dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's do one more play on this before we dwell too much on this and start to become sad, because that tends to happen with us.
I do have a question off of this one though.
Okay.
I forget. AOC reposted some conservative posted "We must stop leftism," and it was a video of like a leather daddy with like his human pup doing tricks.
Hold on, let me pull it up. The puppy play one, right? Yeah, hold on, just so people can see what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you know exactly where this is going.
I know exactly what I'm talking. Yeah. Oh, here we go. So let's share this tab. So this is. I hope we don't get taken down by Twitch or YouTube. But this is Congressman Randy Fine. So if any moderators at any major streaming platform have a problem with that, like, this is a matter of congressional record at this point. These are two Congress people talking to each other, as far as I'm concerned, about puppy play.
So, like, I think we can say that is a good boy, and that is a very attentive man, helping his, with his beloved pet.
Uh-huh.
I think that is the caveat where we might have evidence that both of them could get raptured. I think that, like,
the puppy play people.
The puppy play people, yeah.
Honestly,
that
I think they could. I don't think there's anything wrong with like two consenting puppy people doing puppy play. That's fine. All right. let's do one last little round here of this woman talking about her dog after she gets raptured, and then we can kind of get into the main meat of today's live stream. This was by the way, for people watching, this was just a warm-up taste of what we have in store for today. And I want to thank everyone who's watching. I want to shout out Metrazole on Twitch, who wrote, "Obedience to your master is second to obedience to Christ, as we learned from 19th century slavery and capitalism apologetics." So yeah, that's a good point. Metrazole also said, "Good pupper, 13 out of 10." I agree. All right, here's a little bit more of this woman.
3 cats and 4 dogs. Cats, goats can do their own thing. My dogs, you have to feed them, and you have to water them, and you have to let them out.
You gotta water
so I'm
your
like,
dogs.
what is going to happen if we're raptured to my 4 precious babies who are very much a part of my family? And so I've been that's been heavy. It's like I'm ready to go, but I have a longing for the people that are going to be left behind.
She's ready to go, but she's worried about her pets. Grant, let's move on from this cursed topic, and let's get into the meat of today's episode, today's show, today's live stream. So, there's a lot going on with Charlie.
Want to talk about that?
I could honestly talk about this for hours.
She was fascinating.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. There was a memorial for somebody
Yes,
this
there
weekend?
was a memorial for Charlie Kirk. Correct. I have some videos we can watch here real quick from it. Just have to play for people. So the aesthetics were a nightmare. I would say.
Did you watch this live?
No. I watched it like everybody else via clips on social media, of course. But I feel like I have the gist of it. I went through a lot of reports this morning about it, just trying to, get a sense of what happened. This feels like the real, heart of the memorial, which was Trump coming out to embrace Erica Kirk, the new CEO of Turning Point USA. And also, if you go to the very end here, wait for it. No, he does his little dance. Very grief stricken. It seems like, I would say he's taking it very seriously.
Can we go back to the hug? Good we are.
Yeah. Hug's right here. It's weird hug. Everything about this is weird.
It is not somebody. That is not somebody who has hugged before.
Yeah, I saw someone on X make the point that like Trump is so consistently inauthentic that it loops around again to being authentic. Like he's always the same. He's always like this like oafish psychopath in every context, including ostensibly a funeral, which somehow feels like more authentic than someone who's gonna like be professional in a moment like this.
Yeah, his mouth does also look droopy. Am I wrong?
Hey, we talked about this. We talked about this and we cut it out of a recent episode. We can't speculate about his droopiness.
I'm not saying anything more about what that could mean. I'm just saying that he's
a little droopy. Yeah, I agree.
He looks a little droopy.
Yeah, a little droopy. What about you? What have you seen from the memorial? What's your your take on it?
Just that they're like, it's like if this is the thing that brings us down, it just feels so humiliating because it's so incompetent. Like I was like, all right, memorial's gonna happen.
Sure.
They're gonna have like a very clear tactic and tone to like kind of feels like the story's turning on them a bit. Is like the thing I want to get into is like we saw an immediate like we are gonna use Charlie Kirk's death to implement what we want, and there's been the start of pushback towards that, and we're going to get into that. But I figured like, all right, so this memorial is going to be like on message about like what to regather their people to be on topic for like whatever specific agenda they want to achieve. And it seems like it was just all over the place. And also just like a thing that we're going to completely forget. It seemed like a real, we're going to capitalize on this, and it's a bunch of random clips, and it seems entirely forgettable. and not in a small part because Trump seems disinterested, as he does with most things.
Yeah, I mean the whole line about finding a cure for autism and like bragging about that, which we don't really need to get into, but it seems like I think it may have dropped right before we went on stream today, but they're gonna try to claim that Tylenol causes autism. Um, he just doesn't really seem to care about anything to do with Charlie Kirk beyond just like an opportunity to get attention. It's a cudgel, it's like a way to sort of intimidate his various enemies. In fact, like his speech was that, which was like, I don't forgive anybody. Like I hate all of you. I'm gonna take you all with me, kind of thing.
But you would have thought that might have been lockstep, right? If they're gonna do like they are savages, they don't deserve forgiveness, like full bore, like then everyone would be on message, and it does not seem like that was the case, and it doesn't seem like they like advanced their mission more through this. Is that your read?
I think they are running out of steam. I think in a lot of ways, what we've learned about Tyler Robinson has confused things a bit. I think they were really expecting and hoping for, a slam dunk. This is a clear leftist, or this is clearly someone who's transgender, or this is clearly a person of color. And the fact that they've ended up with like a white guy from a conservative family in Utah has definitely made them shift a bit. It's also why, Tucker Carlson's out there making anti-Semitic dog whistles and stuff, and why Stephen Miller has just like completely lost the plot and is quoting Joseph Goebbels. Like they don't really have much. And so and I think in a lot of ways it makes them more dangerous because because they're not tethered to reality. So like they're kind of doing whatever they feel like right now. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it feels like grasping to get a message battle under control, but there's no one in charge to set the edict for what the message needs to be. But I think the real fear we discussed last week was if they are united, if they're united against an enemy, and this can be a thing that everyone agrees that they can use, then it's a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, they don't care about how this fits to anything other than their own end goals. So like that worries me. That definitely worries me. But I think we should spin back a bit more because I also think the Kimmel stuff has changed things. So you wanted to talk about the Kimmel stuff today. There's been some developments over the weekend, but like let's start there because I do think Jimmy Kimmel. What an insane thing to say. Jimmy Kimmel was a step too far, and I think it has changed a bit of what we're seeing from MAGA world right now.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what you just pulled up, or do you want to talk about that afterwards?
No, I just put it up because I thought it was funny.
Okay. I was just it's sort of captivating. You can't look away from the
Astro World for Dead Goebbels. Yep. Yeah. So let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel.
It's I guess my first question is, were you surprised that them pulling Kimmel was a step too far? Were you surprised that this is the thing that made moms everywhere start to realize things are bad?
I mean, I was personally hurt by it because Jimmy Kimmel is the last person on broadcast TV promoting metal bands and hardcore bands, something he's been doing for 20 years. And I think that's very important for the culture. So I was very upset, personally.
You think in 2025 that metal bands making it onto late night television is helpful to them?
Look, man, it's like anything can help. You just I just think it's cool. It's a cool thing Jimmy Kimmel's done for a long time. I think it's neat. No, but I think part of it for me is that the role of TV affiliates in the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel is important here because the American TV affiliate system is so complicated that I had to take a course on it for my journalism degree. It's an extremely complicated system. And I think because of that, there is some gray area to push against because the average person just does not understand how their local news interacts with late night. I just don't think that Americans really get it. And I think the industry also understands I mean, I don't feel like I need to explain it, but basically, like, your local TV that tells you about what's happening in your area is owned by a company. Sometimes all of them are owned by one company, like in Sinclair Broadcasting. Actually, I should pull that up as I'm explaining this. But the that system then integrates with like the national media, who then like insert their broadcast. So there's a lot of like tension there, and I think it wasn't as clear cut as what happened with Colbert, and because of that gray area, it allowed for more pushback from the industry. But before we move on from the TV affiliates, I want to sort of show our audience, if they haven't seen this. So there is a monopoly for local news. There's a couple, but the biggest one is Sinclair Media. They are very right wing. And here is a
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media are true without checking facts first.
That's what I listen to every night before I go to bed. That's just what my brain sounds like. Yeah. So that's my take. Is that like this was not as clear cut, and because of that, there was wiggle room. I also just think that it was like a lot of people are like, wait a minute, like after Colbert, like you can't get away with this twice.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Colbert of it all. Let me try to sum this up, and you can tell me where I'm wrong, and then that way, like just as like a primer for people, this is how we normally do this on bonuses. Is I say it's like this, and then Ryan says no, it's like this, and then it's 10% different.
Yeah. That's right.
So all of the media conglomerates, the Warner and the Disneys, put themselves in a bad spot by overinvesting in streaming, which they are now paying the price of, and the economy's not doing good. So people are watching TikToks instead of cable and their streaming channels. So they're all in trouble. So they're all trying to merge and buy up one another to continue existing. And the federal government can stop them from merging and forming these new so we only have 3 media companies left, channels, and as a way of appeasing Trump to not get in the way, the most public bribery ever, they're like, hey, we'll get rid of Kimmel, whose ratings probably do suck, and like, they're like, people aren't going to be that upset, and we can get rid of him, and then you'll let us get our deal across. Was that the logic of the ABC Disney Corporation?
Yeah, I mean they're well, sort of, yeah. Like, yeah. I won't do what I know. Yeah, you're basically right, which is that the FCC, which the head of the FCC outlined this in the Project 2025 document, which is like you can use the FCC's ability to control mergers as a way to shape, mainstream media and sort of put pressure on companies you don't like. So yeah, there are these local affiliate monopolies that are trying to merge. In this instance, it's was it Nexstar and Tegna? I think Nexstar and Tegna, and they are trying to merge. It's like a $6.2 billion merger. The FCC is in charge of whether that goes through. Most of these local affiliate monopolies are conservative. They have, they are using, like, there was a huge push to invest in local news among conservatives in the 2010s. It is now working quite well in their favor.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart move.
Yeah. And so because this is coming from the affiliate side, they can put pressure on ABC and Disney, and the FCC can then use sort of the conflict there to threaten to take ABC's broadcasting license away. And that is something that Trump keeps flirting with and keeps fantasizing about. So that is essentially it. And it's all about streamlining the mainstream media to be as pro-Trump as possible. They're sick of it. Like, Trump is clearly sick of the bad press coverage. He talks about it nonstop. And so this was all laid out by Project 2025, 2-3 years ago.
Why do you think that this was the step too far? Explain why.
People
Actually,
love that Jimmy
I'm
Kimmel has metal bands on broadcast TV late at night. Everyone said, wow, that's so cool that you had Spirit Box on. I love Courtney LaPlante. That's so cool that you had Knocked Loose on and Turnstile. All of America.
I really hate Turnstile. I don't get Turnstile. I don't understand why they're
you hate
considered a
Turnstile?
metal
That's so surprising. That's so surprising that you of all people have a problem with Turnstile. Look, when
So
I'm at
boring.
Taco Bell listening to hardcore, I want to listen to Turnstile. I think that Rage Against the Machine was too heavy and Turnstile is perfect for me. They were too scary.
It's like yeah, you got to wear a baggy shirt if you whatever. All right, no.
I saw a meme the other day that was like it was like this is like such a dense hardcore meme, but like I almost like don't even want to like what is it? Do you know the band Amir?
Yes, vaguely.
The meme was like well, let me see if I can find it. This is such an incredible waste of everyone's time. But I swear to God, it'll be good for anyone who has the same kind of brain damage that I do. And this is only tangentially related, but I have screen share power now. So yeah, Knocked Loose is just a mirror for kids who dress like Jay and Silent Bob. I just think that is exactly it. Wait, what were we
For the
talking
record,
about?
I have nothing against Knocked Loose.
Arf.
I don't like Turnstile. that was you made us get there. Why do you think that this was the line too far that made everyone worried about our country? And I'm gonna say something that I know you should make fun of me for. Like this is the most blue sky thought, but it is annoying me. We've like
Wait.
literally.
Can I get an arf in both chats, please? Can I get an arf in the chat?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, continue.
Ryan cannot handle.
I can't handle this kind of feedback. My attention span is getting out of control right now.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, can all my good puppy play people give me an arf in the chat, please? Okay, yeah.
This is actually what Ryan needs to cure his hives. It's just to be able to digress and look at videos and say and convince himself it's work. On one hand, I'm glad something finally broke through to make people go, I think things are going really bad.
Yeah.
But that it's like not that DC is occupied, that it's not the kidnappings or the gulags. Like I don't want to be a hall monitor. I don't want to be a blue skyer, but it is annoying to me that like this is the thing that has made normal people worried. I don't know. But why do you think that this was I spell it out for people why this was the thing that was too far?
I was trying to show this article, but the internet just doesn't. I mean, God,
work
Jesus.
anymore?
Websites are just so bad now. So I think like there's a couple things. One, like it's not really a problem or shocking to me that people latch on to pop culture as a way to digest politics, and I think it's actually fine. Like it happens on both sides. Like extremists use pop culture and so do libs. Like it's just, I was watching this Jude Law movie yesterday called The Order, which is like based on a true story about an extremist group that was like using the Turner Diaries to like create a roadmap for like domestic terrorism. Like this is we talk about
It's
this
a
on the show
pretty
all the time.
decent movie. It's like
It's fine.
It's
It's fine. Nicholas Hoult is a great, crazy little freak. And I'm glad that he gets to be more of a little freak and stuff.
Next week we'll start the garbage day letterbox. We can take on that
fun.
frontier next.
I have a lot of thoughts on K-pop demon hunters. So no, but I think like that is, especially in a country as large as America, like that is how we have a national conversation, especially now with the internet. Like there isn't a lot of monoculture left, and by design, like broadcast TV is monocultural. It's much smaller and much less profitable than it used to be, but it is something that we all can in theory watch for free on the screens in our houses. So that's very important. And Jimmy Kimmel has been on the air in some form or another on radio and TV for like almost 30 years, 40 years. He started as like a radio host, I think, like a sportscaster or something. So people know him. And then after Colbert, this feels like part of a larger playbook. And I think Project 2025 gets brushed off a lot by particularly like establishment liberals because it feels so nefarious and insidious that like you can't take it seriously. But that is kind of its magic, is that it is so insidious.
It's because Democrats have never effectively worked through a to-do list. So the idea that that anyone could say, "Here's the list of things we want to do that we believe in," and then check them off one by one, is an implausible
Impossible.
idea
You can't even imagine it.
to every think tank.
And our Garbage Day managing editor, Kate's Holderness, just told me that Kimmel is coming back. This was announced, I guess, as we were streaming. So you're welcome, Jimmy. Another arf in the chat if anyone wants. Hard music hard rock has been saved for broadcast TV. No, you're right. Like Democrats and especially sort of like the pundit class, you know, the Ezra Kleins of the world, the sort of I always say Maddie Glacius, the Maddie Glaciuses of the world. Like they can't really believe that it could be this simple and this mundane. And the Democrats like don't really have, you know, they don't have their shit together enough to really like do something like this. And so the fact that the Republicans have created a playbook and they are following it to a T and bragging in public about it, I think just feels too impossible. Man, there's so many ads on the internet now. But you know, I pulled this up.
Now the hardest bands like Trapped Under Ice can finally get back on broadcast television.
Trapped Under Ice, yeah. Poison the Well. I want to hear Nerdy on broadcast TV. So like, I pulled this up just to give people a sense of, you know, how effective this has been. And this is a great tool, project2025.observer. You can go check it out for yourself, and it'll show you like what they are doing, how they are doing it. And you can read Project 2025. I've linked to it a few times at Garbage Day. It's there. You can just go. And what's crazy is that like a lot of the people in charge right now wrote chapters where they're like, this is what I'm going to do when I'm in power. And then everyone's like, I can't believe they would do that. And it's like, well, they knew they were going to do it. And to have someone like Brandon Carr, the head of the FCC, bragging online about how he knew he was going to do this the minute he could. Here, I'll pull up an example. So yeah, this is the actual post is Jack Nicholson nodding, but like, yeah, like he's saying he knew this was the plan. And I think it just feels completely impossible for people in the broader establishment to accept that this could be just that simple, because it makes them look stupid. It makes them look like dummies for not taking it seriously a year ago, 2 years ago. And for anyone who wants to say like Biden versus Harris or any of that stuff, I didn't see, other than maybe Tim Walz at some point, I didn't really see any prominent Democrats last year like really hanging on this thing. And like in a better universe, this would have been the top of, and if I'm wrong, and I could be, people in the chat like drop links if you remember anything like this, but like I don't remember prominent Democrats being like, they're writing about it, it's out in the open, we should campaign against this. Like I don't remember that. And so if I don't remember it, as someone as plugged in as I am, that's also bad, because it just means if they were doing it, it wasn't that effective. Now, you know, I'm not.
I remember them saying that those ads about Project 2025 did well, but they thought it was too esoteric. Not enough, you know, just about like your middle class Republican mom household and the grocery bill to run against. But let's for the moment. But now seeing the plot and it being on that high of a level, it seems like Kimmel's coming back, and I'm sure he will not be muzzled at all. Did they overplay their hand in a way that is going to be consequential for them, like capitalizing on this further? Do you think that this is? Like, how big of an L do you think that this is?
I think it's bad. I think it's really bad. I think, you know, it's kind of silly to say this, but like throughout Trump's first year, there are these moments where he brushes up against other institutions. So like a really good example is he does a bunch of illegal stuff. The courts then have to decide, if they're going to enforce it. The TikTok ban is a really good one. He just like gets dragged out and he's clearly violating it. Like it doesn't really matter. And so there are these moments where the Trump administration acts brazenly, acts illegally, and then other parts of the establishment, other institutions have to respond. And most of them have kind of backed down. We don't tend to think of Hollywood, like the entertainment world, as an institution, but it absolutely is. And it's a very old one. And I think like it's kind of fascinating that this was able to get turned around so fast. It's not exactly like super hopeful, but it does mean that there are some things that have not totally acquiesced to Trump 2.0. And so like the world of entertainment right now, particularly like establishment entertainment, like traditional linear TV broadcasters, like they're a little fired up right now. And I think that is good, but it's not like gonna topple the administration. It just means the administration has to figure out other ways of clamping down on freedom of speech. And they're absolutely experimenting with it right now.
Yeah. So what that helped solidify an idea for me. A thing we've been talking about since he won has been how much can they get away with without pushback, and where do they get pushback? And a thing that we pointed out that they've done really successfully is that everything that they've done that is outrageous, if you're not super online, sounds is impossible to understand. Yeah. Kimmel off air is actually complicated to understand, but it is directly affecting them in a way that like you see videos of a brown person getting kidnapped by mass people, but it's happening in a city and they don't live in cities. So it doesn't process the same way. And so like it gets muddled for a person who's not plugged in and who's like watching broadcast news as like their main thing. But Kimmel being off air is like, that actually is like the only thing in their life where they're like, I choose not to watch that, but it's there. And now the government's taking that away. That's weird. Like that's like, seems to be the boundary that crossed too far.
Interesting. Yeah. That's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be so reductive to Americans to be like they can't empathize with what's happening in cities, but but I think the videos of let's say ICE agents, like I watched like the ICE protests in Chicago, where people are getting thrown at the ground and there's like that incredible photo of the guy with the flag and stuff. Like I watched that online. I don't totally know how broadcast news. I don't know how ABC News Nightly or whatever is transmitting that kind of news to people. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably not as raw as what I'm seeing on the internet. Kimmel, though, is an easy headline, which is like the Trump administration is in some way connected to Jimmy Kimmel going off the air. You remember Jimmy Kimmel? He's not on the air anymore. And if you remember Stephen Colbert kind of having other kind of connections to the Trump administration, like that's easy to understand. That's easy to wrap your head around. So like, yeah, to come back to the point at the top of this section is like, I get why that breaks through. Like, I don't feel like that's silly to say, oh, pop culture is a way you process this stuff. Like it's a lever. It's a lever for activists as much as it is for an administration like the Trump administration.
I'm going to do your favorite thing, and I'm going to read you to you. For us to unpack further from from last week. Our government is being run by aggrieved elites who are thrown onto social platforms with everyone else in the 2010s, where they could finally read what we all think about them. And it caused them so much psychic damage that they've decided to destroy both the internet and democracy to make sure nothing like that will ever happen again.
Yeah. I agree with myself.
That's the mission. And that also means to cut off the people here. What do you think the next step is when they're being told that they've gone too far?
Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah. If that was your distillation thought off of like, cool, now we have enough ammunition to go against the First Amendment. Like this death has given us the opportunity to do this, and now there's been pushback. But I agree with you that they want to just make sure that no one can voice an opinion that hurts their sensey little feelings ever again.
Well, I don't think we're heading to a world where like they remove the First Amendment. Like I think that is like way too far. And there are tons of First Amendment libertarians and conservatives that will throw a fit. I am not the first to make this connection, and I'll be honest. Like I felt a little uncomfortable comparing Charlie Kirk's death to 9/11 when I did a couple weeks ago. But there is absolutely a post 9/11 reaction happening. And I think when we're talking about the suppression of free speech, like that's the playbook. We've already seen them talking about like emergency powers and how they're going to clamp down on, hate speech. Pam Bondi's talking about it and trying to walk it back after she says a bunch of stuff that's just like straight up not legal. That's the playbook. I assume most of the people watching this are old enough to remember what America was like after 9/11. It's the same. We're already seeing it. Like things that weren't typically coded as conservative start being coded as conservative or disappear from public life. People start the term like chilling of free speech. Like you don't have to regulate it. You just sort of create the structures where people are intimidated into, speaking up. Like that's how this works. I should say though, the real Phil Dini posted an important link in the chat, and I'm going to pull it up just so everyone can see, because I think it's a really good point that we didn't hit actually, which is that Disney knows the rapture is going to happen tomorrow, so they can safely bring Kimmel back. I agree. That's a win-win for everybody. So I can't wait for Jimmy Kimmel to come back on air as the last thing we watch before we're all sent to heaven. But yeah, no, I think that there's going to be a tightening of how people, I mean, I'll be honest, like Garbage Day is like a very, it's a very small media company. We haven't been hit with slap lawsuits or anything, but we could. And it definitely does make me second guess like what we're putting in there. So far, like I don't think we're holding back, but it's a concern. It's a concern for the millions of individual influencers and podcasters and creators that are doing anything topical right now, is that they could come for you. And we know that there's like really no limit to how petty they want to get about it.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to talk about this. Wanted to talk next. How afraid has this changed how afraid you are about doing your job, and how secure is my job?
You're first to go. You're definitely first to go.
I understand that internally, but I guess also like they're not going to come after like my background because like you're the figurehead, right? They're going to focus on you, not me, right? Just
so like I in my time as a journalist, I've definitely been threatened with libel suits before. You don't want them. They're expensive and they're complicated. And in America, they're complicated, but it's still the easiest country to win against. But I've had to go up against them in other countries where like there isn't the First Amendment, and it's difficult. I don't want to be in a situation like that with Garbage Day or Panic World because we aren't big enough to deal with it. I like to think that we're not important enough to be targeted, but you don't really know. And I only hope that by the time we are big enough to catch the attention of someone who wants to come after us, we have the infrastructure in place. We have a good attorney, we have libel insurance, all the rest of it. But it's complicated stuff, and there is, at the end of the day, like you can't really stop someone from going after you, and you just have to be prepared. We just saw this with the New York Times lawsuit. I should bring that up, I guess, just so people kind of are aware that this is happening. And I don't think we are, anywhere close to the New York Times, but yeah. So hold on.
Yeah, we fact checked our podcast better than they fact check their podcasts.
The New York Times?
Yeah.
I'm not going down that road. But yeah, so like they are seeking $15 billion. And luckily, like the initial version of the lawsuit was smacked down. Also, for people in the chat who are talking about how I don't have an ad blocker, I typically don't have an ad blocker on because sometimes you find good stories in what programmatic ads pop up. So I turned my ad blocker off years ago. even though it means that if I open up 3 tabs on my computer, it will light on fire. But you never know what weird ad might pop up on the side of a website, and so I keep it on.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's a real desire from the Trump administration to go after people in any way they can. Take away your license, sue you, intimidate you. They just did a whole thing with Starbucks, with Charlie Kirk. Did you see this? I mean,
No.
so yeah, basically, like, Starbucks is fighting with the right wing over whether or not different Starbucks baristas are refusing to give people Charlie Kirk's favorite drink order. Like,
What was his favorite drink? Can I guess?
Yeah, I guess you can guess.
I bet it has like a shit ton of fake sugar in it. Like it's maybe stevia. Like it is like a grossly syrupy thing but like not with any real sugar.
So I'm not like a big Starbucks person.
Yeah.
I'm a Dunkin' Donuts person, obviously. If I'm gonna have chain coffee.
Charlie Kirk wasn't even a Dunkin' Donuts Jesus Christ. He has no loyalty to anything.
Apparently, I've never heard of this. His favorite drink was Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys. I don't even know what Mint Majesty tea is. What is it?
Sounds like a liberal drink.
This is what
I've
this
not
is
heard
what
of a
people are-
woker drink.
This is what people are demanding. What this is okay? Like I'll be honest, I did not look into this much. Hold on, this is a photo of it. This is wild. I did not actually know this. I thought people were joking, but apparently it is a Mint Majesty tea, and he would get 2 honeys in it. That was his favorite Starbucks drink.
Ordering tea from a place is so stupid. Just in general, like you can buy a tea, it's just a tea bag.
Well,
They're charging you.
I don't know about you. I live a busy lifestyle. I don't have time to go make tea.
You don't leave your house.
I sometimes leave my house.
You have time. There's people who need a proof.
But if I'm on the go between different hate rallies, I don't have time. If I'm someone like Charlie Kirk and I'm gonna be bullying teenagers in different college campuses, like I don't have time to make my own tea. I'm gonna stop by Starbucks and have them make me a Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys in it, apparently.
And you do need your throat to be able to reach a decibel that college student with their young vocal.
We're gonna move on from that one before we get taken down. But I'm saying I did not know. I did not know that this was his order. And I'm extremely confused. This is actually kind of how I felt watching the memorial, videos where it's like, oh, this is a part of America that I just did not know. Like all these things I just did not know mattered to people. It's kind of how I felt all year, is that there's just another America that I know nothing about.
And it's just like we shouldn't be knowing this about each other, is my feeling with each thing. So that brings me to something else you wrote last week, that you're saying they're going after these things because they're unpopular and they never, and this is their chance to shore up as much control as humanly possible. You wrote, they remove every personal freedom they can because they were losing the game. They were deeply unpopular, and before I copied that wrong. Before Kirk's death,
You're doing great.
Desperate for a way to suck up all the oxygen and brute force their way into a permanent position of power. And now they're going to do everything they can to make sure they never feel that helpless again.
Yes. And this is something that you and I have been tracking all summer too with Panic World, which is like they were absolutely desperate for something to distract people specifically from the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, but also just like genuinely how unpopular they are. And like, it's not surprising to me that they're latching onto this the way they are. I mean, one, like, let's be real. Like, JD Vance was personal friends with Charlie Kirk. Like, they knew each other. And like a lot of people in the administration knew Charlie Kirk. So like there's just the element of like one of their own died. And like they are taking it as seriously as you would expect. But there's definitely a contingent, particularly of the influencer crowd, the Matt Walshes, all those guys, who are very excited to use this as a way to distract anyone from not even just Epstein stuff, but everything. Any sort of any sort of bad thing you could say about Trump can be, pushed away now as being insensitive, which was exactly what we saw after 9/11 with the Bush administration. The playbook is exactly the same.
Got it.
How dare you? We have to come together, kind of stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't feel just to set the stage. How unpopular are they? Like
Trump?
Yeah, I know the poll numbers are bad, but it still feels culturally like it's like we are existing in a mega culture. There doesn't feel like a large shift.
So it's bad. I mean, the poll numbers are very bad. He's more unpopular than he was in his at this time in his first administration. He's the most unpopular president we've seen in many years. It's the most unpopular president has been in many years. In terms of it feels like a MAGA culture, yeah, that's on purpose though. I think it was even brought up. I saw it speed by in one of the live chats. Is there another America, or is there just a smaller America that's loud? That is really complicated to sort of suss out. American culture right now more than ever is so hard to track. It's so hard to understand. It's work that we sort of try to suss out in garbage day every week. Is this a trend? Is this real? Is this not real? Do people care about this?
It's a very good question.
Yeah, I remember with all the Stanley Cup and water talk stuff. Okay, how real is this? And it seems like Stanley Cups are there's Stanley Cup America and there's non-Stanley Cup America. There's Labubu America and non-Labubu America, and there's definitely a concerted effort to make MAGA America sound louder and more important than non-MAGA America. But I don't get the sense that is true. I don't get the sense that Trump is popular by any means. In fact,
yeah,
we have a user in one of the live chats saying the Economist podcast went into this further this morning, and Trump is polling extremely bad, extremely bad.
Yeah, I basically a year ago plus some months, I thought he was extremely unpopular and that these guys were extremely weird then. And so I guess I just kind of I'm when it's not an election season, when they're not being contrasted with anyone else, if there doesn't feel like there's a cultural shift where there's a different conversation winning, I just wonder I don't know, but I take you for your word that you answered what my question was trying to get at, which is they thought amongst Project 2025 sweeping over things that they would be starting to get the bounce back from their big changes now and getting people on board. And there's growing, they weren't expecting the Joe Rogans to say this is crazy, and for a growing sense of incredulousness. And with that, there's a urgency to slash and achieve everything they can before it's midterm season.
Midterms is
does that
that
sum it up?
There's obviously a very pesky feeling among the American media class that the minute the election's over, it's time for the next election. The joke is it's just constant, right? And that is definitely a feature of covering American politics. But I do think right now, if you are watching all this and you're saying okay, I saw someone in the chat say Canadians can't understand why no one is stopping this. It's the midterms. It's all the midterms. And in fact, the midterms are why you and I, wanted to start Panic World, was to get something in place to start covering this stuff more aggressively, because Trump's power is extremely consolidated right now, and his sort of control over the internet and over mainstream media is like the the strongest it's ever been. But if you're saying like, why doesn't anyone do anything? When is it time to truly panic? Like it's midterms. Everything gets, if the Republicans sweep the midterms, like we're in the bad place. We're in the real bad place.
Yeah, and what you're saying, they're feeling afraid, and everything they can do to culturally spam us with their propaganda, and even the lightest of criticisms, like we saw from Kimmel, they're going to start to try to go after, so it's only their messaging getting through in a world where getting any messaging through that is dissenting is increasingly hard.
Right.
That's where we're seeing the play move now.
So
the only thing people can do is really give us $5. That seems like the only.
You can subscribe to Panic World or Garbage Day. But I do actually want to kind of. First, I want to thank everyone for watching this stream. This was like a really fun experiment. It was a great way for me to take my mind off of my blogging hives that I have right now. But I also wanted to kind of
refuses to talk to me unless it's on microphone, and
unless
sometimes
on
he just
microphone.
needs time with a friend. Sometimes he just needs to chit chat.
Men
But he can only
need
do
this.
that if
Yeah.
we have
There's a
phallic
male-
symbols in front of
right.
our faces.
There's a male loneliness epidemic, and the microphones help that.
It's true.
Your friend Sars says I look great for a guy with blogging hives. Thank you. I feel like a pincushion. But I do want to end here with kind of what you're talking about. So there is a problem, and like I don't know how to fix it. And I have been doing research. I've been sort of talking to different people about it all year, actually. And let me lay out the problem, then kind of get your thoughts on, because I don't know if we've ever like directly talked about it.
I don't know what you're about to say.
Yeah, and it was kind of like the impetus for this live stream. So everyone, you can bitch and moan about the death of text, but like if you look at the way people want to use the internet, they want to make video and they want to watch video. It's a thing. It exists. Like, okay. And we've moved so far beyond the days of pivot to video that like if you don't have some sort of video thing, I mean, Panic World has a video component. It's just a thing that you do. But right now, there are a million kind of really interesting and amazing opportunities to deliver content in an open source, open protocol way. If you want to deliver your podcast to people, you can do RSS. If you want to send out a newsletter, you can do, email. You can do RSS. There's open source platforms, and there's tons of ways to do it. Social media, you can go to Blue Sky, you can go to Mastodon. Like there are ways to get this out. And I think for much of the 2020s, these ideas were kind of theoretical, but now like with the consolidation of power, particularly around the media, like we should be taking these really seriously. They are no longer sort of the pet projects of like internet hippies. Like this is important stuff. Like it's important to be able to distribute your content without anyone stopping you. And we can talk, the issues of internet scale and all the rest of it, whatever. There is nothing that can do that for video. Like there is nothing that can distribute. There are projects that exist. There's like there's an activity pub version of YouTube and stuff. I think someone like told me it was like run by, I saw someone like, I don't know where I'm receiving messages anymore. I have too many inboxes, but I saw something that was like, it was run by French anarchists and like, isn't very good. That may have been in a live chat to this show. I'm not sure, but like, there's a bunch of these things that aren't good, but there is really no way for someone who makes videos to make money on the internet completely independently. Like not easily. And there are companies that are sort of experimenting with it. Dropout is this for comedy, but I haven't seen anyone try the people who've tried this for news, for punditry, for commentary. It's slow going and it's not great. And there is a bottleneck there. So like if someone like Jimmy Kimmel gets booted off the air, they can go make a podcast, but they can't go make the Jimmy Kimmel show again. And I think in a lot of ways now is more than ever the time to say, okay, how do you make money as a video creator? Is it subscriptions? Okay. Is it advertising? Okay. Is it sponsorships? Whatever it is. And then how do you distribute your videos directly to your audience without an algorithm? And it's, as someone in the chat just said, PeerTube is not a competent competitor to YouTube yet. It's not. PeerTube, I think, is the activity pub one. these are the issues that I'm thinking about, where I'm thinking about the future of garbage media, of Garbage Day and Panic World and all the other stuff we want to do. And I'm thinking, how do we, on a technical level, insulate ourselves from any kind of throttling, any kind of thumb on the scale? How can we stream and not be taken down midstream for talking about Gaza or talking about Charlie Kirk or talking about whatever? How can we make a podcast? How can we send out an email? Like, all of these things have to be able to be sent directly to the people who want them, and then have those people be able to share them, on dark social platforms, on text messages, on email. Like, how do you insulate yourself like that? And it's something that I'm thinking about all the time. And so if people are watching and they have thoughts, you can email me, ryan@garbageday.email. If you like this, I think Grant and I want to keep doing this. We want to keep talking about this stuff because stuff is just moving too fast. Of course, we might get raptured tomorrow, so who knows? But that's where my head is at. Is like, how do you take the entire media environment we understand that supports American media, and how do you completely insulate it from any kind of governmental pressure in case things start to get really, really bad, or worse? Let's say.
Is it Gab or Truth Social?
We're gonna go to Rumble. That's right. We're gonna go to Kick and Rumble.
It is funny, just the way it is real concerns, but the way you phrased it does sound very similar to how the neo-Nazis phrase making sure that they don't get kicked off platforms.
Well, but like, I've tried to like make this argument many times, which is that like, there is a difference between saying I don't want neo-Nazis on my website, or I don't think my users should be harassed by neo-Nazis or predators or hackers or scammers, and the government saying we are going to control what you can put on the internet. Look, those are different. And like, if a bunch of neo-Nazis want to spin up a live streaming platform, like, that's their like right in America to do so, and businesses can either work with them or not work with them, and journalists can cover them and scrutinize them, and we can put pressure on them. But like, that doesn't have to work. I don't want to go off on a whole free speech tear, but like, things are really bad right now. And so I'm thinking a lot about like, how do you technically insulate yourself from an administration that has no bottom? Like, we don't know. They might go after Hassan. We don't know what the Twitch hearings are going to be like in October. Where you and I have already said we're going to do an episode on it. Like, they're trying to. Yeah, someone Phil in the chat said they've tried to spin up a Nazi live stream system. No one joins. Perfect. Good luck, guys.
That's the best. Yeah.
Good luck.
We want to be more popular than the Nazis. The mission statement of Garbage Media is we want to be more popular than the Nazis.
Sure, I would hope so. I hope we can be more popular. But yeah, we don't know, which random influencer is going to come across the vice president's feed, and he's going to come after them personally. Because it used to be that the Jimmy Kimmels of the world were the ones that were targeted, in the mainstream media figures. But there is no mainstream media anymore. So Jimmy Kimmel could be just as important in the mind of some Trumpist as Hassan or Great Northern Lion or whatever. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah. Well, this isn't. Once Jimmy Kimmel was pulled for mayor, I received a frantic call from my mom wondering if I was worried as to whether or not I will have a job. And this conversation didn't make me feel much better. But
I will protect you. I will protect you.
Does anyone, totally off topic, before we wrap, I would love totally off topic questions for Ryan or I. We'll do a little
call-in
first three to get them in.
I have Riverside has a combined chat for both platforms, which is amazing. I've been watching it. I think it might be a little slower than watching both, but I have them both open. So yeah, first questions. Favorite pie. Okay, that one's easy. I love pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Apple or cherry?
We're not going to be answering your question, Alex. I cannot tell people what my shoe size is.
Or maybe this is the live stream game. People get it. We'll end with questions, but as soon as somebody asks a question that we will not answer, that gets weird, that's when we end it.
Wait, I will say I will answer the worst thing I've ever eaten though.
Okay.
And it's not in terms of what is maybe the most ill. That's a totally different conversation. But I was working in Tokyo and I was out with coworkers, and they gave me a shot glass, and in the shot glass was like an entire baby squid that they had me shoot
I've seen
like,
this.
and I could feel it like slide down my throat. And to this day, I'm really upset about it. It was not good.
Yes, Jimmy Kimmel is coming back. So we're all saved. Everything is fine. Kimmel is back, baby.
Kimmel is back.
But it's going to come back as the man show, and that's how he's going to conform to Trump too.
Honestly, very in line.
Just women on trampoline again
Yeah.
is going to keep him safe.
What hyperfixation is giving you a minute of relief this week? Let's use this one as our last question. What's your hyperfixation right now?
Go Birds!
Philadelphia
3-0.
Okay.
Fucking block that punt. 300-pound man ran it back 61 yards. Let's fucking go repeat.
Your accent kind of popped out there for a second.
That was so genuine.
Let's
I keep
fucking
that
go.
locked down.
Use John's when I watch the birds. Wow. Okay. My hyperfixation right now is that I'm working on the DJ set for the Garbage Rave next month. And I've been having a lot of fun playing with my new toy, which is the Akai 40 MK2. And it's sick. It's got lots of buttons and sliders. And so if you come to our show in Bushwick next month, you will see me mess around with this. I have a fun little thing planned. Yeah, so that's what I've got. I want to thank you all for watching. This was great. We're going to leave up a copy of this once I figure out how. I think we've also recorded it, so we're going to do this. We're going to do something with it. We will let you all know. And if we do, I think we're going to do these again. I think we're going to keep doing them. They're fun. We're starting very small and kind of working our way up. So thank you for watching. This was a blast. And just pay attention to Garbage Day and Panic World. We'll let you know when the next one is. Don't worry. We've got direct communication with you, our audience, which is the most important thing of all.
If you're in distance of Bushwick next month, I would love to meet you. Come to TVI.
Don't say it that way. Don't say it that way.
This is my first live event I'm a part of with you. I'm excited for this podcast to become real in person.
Yeah. So pay attention to your inboxes. There's lots of fun stuff coming, and we'll be doing more of these. And thank you again. So goodbye, everybody.